You awake?
Yep.
Are you decent?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cute.
Right, there's food in the fridge. Well, that's a bit of a lie, actually. There's some leftovers and a bit of milk, so help yourself to whatever you can find.
I'm coming to work. I'm not going to start making stupid mistakes just because my dad's...
Just give it a few days, eh?
I'm fine.
Chris.
Alright, I won't see any patients, but I can do some paperwork. Alright, I'll do a stock check or something. I can't stay here all day, mate. I'll just go crazy.
Right, well, I've still got loads of stuff I need to do around the house, bits of shopping. How about you spend today doing that, and then this evening we can go for some food, or get a DVD. Your choice.
What's going on? What happened?
Your mum and Howard had they had a bit of a bust-up, and...
What did she do?
She ended up letting it slip that they'd had an affair.
I already knew.
What?
I knew.
Hiya! Oh, good morning. So what?
Well, I think he's going to dare to show his face today.
What was said yesterday is none of our business.
Yeah.
We cannot be expected to believe such slanderous accusations.
Morning, ladies.
Good morning, Mr. Bellamy.
I got in bright and early. I sorted the mail into order and delivered the letters to the relevant offices.
There was really no need.
No, it's my pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Always happy to help. Well, I'll be around if anybody needs me.
Well, very good.
Why don't you tell me, eh? Well, mate, she can talk to me.
You know, the thought of it makes me sick. You know, I mean, she says that it was all over before Dad had his accident, but I mean, she could be lying.
Oh, Chris.
What else would you tell everyone? You know, they plan to set up home together now the coast is clear.
Certainly didn't look like that.
Come on, we're going to be late.
There's something else. Yesterday, when your mum was talking to Howard, she accused him of killing your dad. I'm sure it's not true. I really think you should stay at home.
Why should I? They're the ones that should be staying away.
You just should protect yourself from...
You come in?
Yep. I know everyone's talking about me, but I'm going nowhere.
Okay.
I mean it. I've done nothing wrong. I'm not going to hide away and pretend I had a holiday booked.
Quite right. Innocent until proven guilty.
Thank you. I had nothing to do with Sandwich death.
I am sure the truth will out.
I hope so.
I think Emma was letting off steam yesterday.
You know, there's nothing going on between me and Emma. There hasn't been for a year.
It really is none of my business.
I did everything I could to stop her working at the mill. I didn't want our past to cause any difficulties.
I am the last person to lecture people on workplace romances.
There is another matter.
The partnership papers.
You're still happy to proceed?
Of course.
Thank you.
I'll pop by later. Have you seen the others?
I managed to see Daniel yesterday, Zara.
Ah.
You think she'll be a problem?
No, she's a professional. I think she'll see through the gossip and the mudslinging and do the right thing.
Morning.
How are you? Think you're ever so brave for coming in today?
Yeah, I just want to get on with my work.
I have reassigned all your patients, Nesreed. I did not think you would be in today.
Chris is going to be doing a stock check, so...
That is good.
You know, if you want to talk or cuddle or anything.
Yeah, I know where you are.
Do you want to make a start in the nurse's room? Mrs. Temby, is the room I can go in?
Oh, yes. Dr. Reed has not come in. Room 2 is free.
Okay. And what's the matter?
Is he in?
Dr. Reed, What do you want?
We've received the post-mortem results of your husband. I have to inform you it's now being viewed as a suspicious death. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
But I've already given a statement.
I know, but I'd like to hear the facts again for myself, if that's okay. And he slept down here alone?
Yes, he had to after the accident. There was lots of equipment. I wanted to be with him, but it just wasn't practical.
So on the morning you discovered him, you'd been asleep in your own bed upstairs?
Yes.
Did you hear anything unusual?
No?
Was anybody else in the house?
Only my son.
I'll need to speak to him too. Is he here now?
No, he stayed at a friend's last night.
Oh? Why?
Well, maybe he just didn't want to sleep above where his father had just died. I'm sorry.
This must be difficult for you. Do you know where we can contact your son? Who was the friend he stayed with?
I don't know.
He didn't tell you?
We had a disagreement.
What about?
Does it matter?
Well, it does, if it was to do with your husband. I need to know the circumstances around what's happened, so please, what was the disagreement about? Perhaps I should call in your son.
No.
He might be more forthcoming.
Don't bother him. He found out about something that happened a long time ago.
You seen Zara? She's not in the room.
Well, she is here. I believe she's going to discuss a patient with Nurse Marquez. Oh, wait!
Hello, Chris. I was looking for Zara. Look, I don't know what you've heard, but get out.
And your husband knew about this?
Yes. Look, I know it's unconventional, but we had an arrangement. And it was before the accident. We just didn't feel that way about each other anymore. It wasn't because of...
And your husband was okay with this arrangement?
Yes.
So he saw other women as well?
Well, he knew he could if he wanted to.
But he didn't actually do it. Dr. Reed, do you think your relationship with Mr. Bellamy could have been the reason why your husband wanted to end his life?
No.
How can you be so sure?
Because it was over a long time ago.
Before you worked at the Mill Health Centre?
Yes.
Must have been hard for your husband when he realised you'd be working with Mr. Bellamy again.
Sam wanted to die because he had lost the use of his body and he was in pain most of the time. And he felt he had no quality of life left. It wasn't because of my relationship, my former relationship with Howard.
Did your husband ask you to help him die?
Yes.
What did you say?
At first I said no. But then when he made the decision to go to Switzerland, I felt I had to support him. I loved him, but it was his choice.
Did your son agree to go along with this?
No, he was devastated by it.
The coroner and Dr. Carter felt that at the time your husband died, he would have been unable to end his life alone. Do you agree?
I suppose.
So someone must have helped him. Was it you?
No.
Your son was in the house that day.
He loved him more than anything.
Did anyone else come to the house that day? Was somebody else here?
Yes.
Did you find Dr. Carter?
No.
Do you think they actually did it in here?
Oh, they wouldn't be the first.
I'll be in my room.
Yes, Mr. Bellamy.
damn right.
Grow up, the pair of you.
What's got into him?
Come in.
Partnership papers. Come to give you my autograph.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Chris,
I'm fine. Fine.
do you want to go home?
No, I'm not going away.
Oh, I don't want to think that.
I'm staying Monday.
Okay, well, how about you come for a sandwich with me? I could do with a fresh air. Yeah?
Okay.
There are a few things I need to go over with you. Now we're treating his death as suspicious, I'll need a formal statement.
Of course. I don't have another patient for about 20 minutes, if that's okay.
That'll be fine.
What's going on? Who are you?
Detective Inspector Collier.
Is this about my dad?
Christopher Reed. I need to talk to you later.
To your father. Your mother has made some accusations about Howard.
What, to the police?
We can talk about this later, if you like.
Come on, Chris, let's get that sandwich, eh?
Okay?
Tyler, are you still in a strop? Don't you think you overreacted just a little bit?
I know what it's like to be accused of something you didn't do. When it was me, do you know what hurt more than anything else? It was that my colleagues, people I thought might be my friends, doubting me.
That was totally different.
How? You can't throw Howard to the wolves just because you don't like him.
Well, I can if I think he's going to ruin the practice. He was about to become a partner.
How very petty of you.
Don't talk to me like that.
But you can joke about Howard behind his back based on what? Gossip and innuendo? You disappoint me, Zara.
I think you should go now.
At the very least, he deserves our respect. It's his future on the line.
I've spoken to Dr. Reed, who told me that her husband asked her to help him end his life. Did he ask you the same?
He knew my feelings on the subject.
Which are?
I abhor suicide.
And you told him that. Did you know Mr. Reed well?
I was his doctor for about a month, but we didn't know each other socially.
Yet you worked with his wife.
Yes.
Do you think that could have been why he wanted you as his doctor?
Well, he was a vulnerable patient, and his wife and son wanted him in a safe pair of hands.
Could either of them have thought the fact that Dr. Reed works here might make you more sympathetic?
No, I think my colleagues know my opinion of suicide.
Why'd you say that?
Well, a couple of years ago, a colleague tried to take his own life, and I made my feelings fairly clear.
But Dr. Reed didn't work here a couple of years ago, so presumably neither her nor her husband knew you then.
Sorry, am I a witness or a suspect?
My apologies.
He's in the nurse's room.
Thank you. If I have any more questions...
I'm sure you won't hesitate to ask them.
Is now a good time to talk?
Heston, who's that?
Our very own Jane Tennyson.
About Howard?
Yes.
I guess that was a lucky escape.
What do you mean?
Well, I'd almost decided to give him a chance. Thank goodness we didn't make him a partner.
If that's what you think.
Wait. Tell me you didn't sign.
I did.
Are you trying to ruin us?
We need a new partner, and Howard is the best candidate.
What if he killed the man?
And what if he didn't?
You're taking that chance.
I won't be swayed by playground gossip. I'm sure you have your own perfectly sound reasons for not wanting him. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Hey, the police are here. I bet the legendary love god Mr. Bellamy is liking the sight of those handcuffs. I imagine he loves getting chained up and things done to him. Or brown chicken, brown chicken, brown chicken, brown cow.
Grow up.
Mrs. Tenbay, just popping out for lunch. I'll be back in an hour.
Mr. Bellamy, may I have a word?
Yes, what is it?
The police are here.
What do they want?
It is to do with Dr. Reed's husband. They have asked that you remain in the building until they have spoken to you.
Where are they now?
Speaking to Nurse Reed.
Thank you, Mrs. Tenbay.
The last time I saw my father was the previous evening. He was in a low mood and talked about suicide being the only option he felt he had left. I knew of his plans to travel to Switzerland and that he was disappointed that this was no longer an option. I wished him good night and went to bed. I didn't hear anything unusual during the night. In the morning, I woke, showered and prepared for work as normal. I first became aware of what had happened when my mother, Emma Reed, stopped me in the hallway on my way to work. She told me my father had passed away during the night. I didn't go through to see the deceased in his room. Overcome by what had happened, I left the house. I then spent the rest of the morning walking around Leatherbridge to try and clear my head. Is this a correct account of what happened? Can you sign here, please?
Expecting someone else?
So, the partnership papers. Are you going to give them to me or what?
You still happy to sign them?
Is there any reason I shouldn't?
Not at all. It's just a lot of nasty rumours flying around.
Are any of them true?
No.
Then give me the papers.
Thank you.
Not at all. And if it does turn out that you're a massive criminal, we'll just sue you for everything you've got. Oh, look. The police are here for you.
Oh, Nurse Reed. I have spoken to Reverend Clement about your situation.
Excuse me?
I've asked him to put your father's name on a prayer list at our church. What happened is such a tragedy, and our thoughts are with you all.
My dad was an atheist. You had no right to do that.
I am so sorry. I thought...
You just keep your nose out, okay?
How well did you know him?
Hardly at all. But I knew Dr. Reed from before we worked at the mill.
Yes. She told us about your relationship.
Trusted colleague.
Your other relationship. Do you think it had any bearing on Mr. Reed's decision to take his life?
Not at all. My involvement with Dr. Reed was in the past. Any relationship we've had since we've worked together at the mill, purely professional.
She also told us that you went to the house on the day Mr. Reed died. You seem surprised.
Did Emma tell you that?
Yes. What were you doing there?
What did she say?
She just said you went to the house. Can you tell me why? Was it to help Mr. Reed end his life?
No, it was not.
So it was just a social call?
He wanted to see me.
Why?
That's private.
Under these circumstances, no, it's not.
He wanted to give me his blessing for a relationship with Emma. Hard to believe, I know.
You're right, it is.
He knew he was going to die. He cared for her. He wanted to make sure that she was going to be looked after when he'd gone.
That was very thoughtful of him. You said your relationship with Dr. Reed was over. Do you still have feelings for her?
Yes.
And do you know how she feels about you?
Why don't you ask her?
Oh, I already did. Why didn't you tell us before that you'd been to the house?
I don't know.
Worried you might look guilty?
No. I wanted to protect Emma. I didn't want people to think badly of her.
And you felt that was worth lying to the police for? Dr. Reed seems to have lots of men doing selfless things for her. She must be someone very special.
Come on. Oh, Chris, please.
Thank you for your help. Everything all right?
Yeah, let me see your hand.
Thank you.
Oh, Chris, no. No!
What did you say to her?
They just asked me a few questions.
What about you were sleeping with my mum?
Why don't you take a seat? Let's talk about this properly. If you're ready.
I'll never be ready.
Please. I know this is hard for you.
Don't you patronise me. You disgust me. My dad is dead. And it's your fault.
I had nothing to do with what happened.
You broke his heart. That's why he wanted to die. You took away his dignity. And the woman he loved.
I didn't know your mother was still married when I got involved with her. When I found out, she told me they had an arrangement.
Oh, how convenient.
Your father told me the same thing.
How dare you say that to me?
I'm just trying to tell you how things were.
What, now that he's not here to defend himself?
I'm telling you the truth.
My dad would never allow his wife to be with another man. You tore my family apart. You broke my dad's heart. And now he's dead. You can live with that, can you?
Do you want to meet the bishop? I thought you'd like it.
Then you cannot introduce me. It would not be appropriate.
Hey, mate, you can't put that there.
We do actually need a partner for the formal signature.
Well, Dr. Granger's on his way.
He could have done exactly the same.
Are you really that selfish?